Narcissists do not forgive or forget. They get even and hold grudges, especially for the following 8 things, as it cuts them deeply. Narcissists are convinced that everyone desires their presence and are utterly ill-equipped to handle rejection or abandonment, perceiving it as a direct assault on the very core of their being, their ego, identity, and self-worth. When rejection shatters their illusion, they are plunged into a whirlpool of insecurity and self-doubt. Seething with rage or drowning in self-pity, narcissists lash out or attempt to smother you under the weight of guilt and shame for rejecting them. They become desperate to erase the stain of rejection from their memory, leading some to resort to lies, manipulation, threats, and even stalking and harassment to get you back. However, the fear that you may leave them again compel many to drastically increase the abuse and control once you're within reach again, even escalating things to threats or physical violence to make you too afraid to leave them again. Others get you to take them back just so that they can dump you, thereby protecting their ego by being able to say they broke up with you. Should you refuse to take them back, apart from stalking and harassment, you will find that they often make divorce and co-parenting hell for you. Because, in their distorted reality, you remain their possession for life. A rare few cannot handle the crush to their image and vanish without a trace, sometimes changing their name and moving to a different state in hopes of erasing every trace of your existence from their lives. But make no mistake, the grudge they hold against you remains, simmering beneath the surface, waiting for the perfect moment to exact revenge when you least expect it, even if that moment arrives decades later. If you think holding a grudge for life for being dumped is overreacting, especially if it happened in high school, check this out. Narcissists have shocking levels of entitlement, believing they owed the world on a diamond-encrusted gold platter, regardless of whether they've earned it. Saying no to them feels like a personal insult, a slap in the face to their inflated sense of self-worth. It's not just a disagreement over an idea or a simple refusal of a request. It's a rejection of them as a person, a denial of their very existence. In the twisted mind of a narcissist, there's no distinction between their beliefs, desires, self-image, and person. A rejection or questioning of one is a rejection of all. Rules and procedures are mere inconveniences, roadblocks to be bulldozed over in pursuit of what they feel they deserve, such as them feeling entitled to a first-class seat, even if they paid economy. Denying them the first-class seat does not register to them as an issue about ticket prices or availability. It's taken as you being incompetent and unable to see their brilliance, and a direct assault on their character. Or you saying no to partying with them because you need to study is seen as you being selfish and not caring about their needs. You saying no to lending them money again when they have not paid for the 4 previous loans is seen as you being stingy, because they cannot see further than their own immediate needs. When faced with a refusal, narcissists unleash a performance worthy of a silver screen. They shame, guilt trip, accuse, and manipulate with the finesse of a seasoned actor, pulling out every trick in the book to get their way. However, even if you cave to their demands, they'll hold a grudge against you for not bending to their will from the outset, for they feel they should not have even needed to suffer the indignity of even having to ask you, for you should have anticipated their need and have just given them what they wanted. And yet, you made them ask, and then further humiliated them by refusing their request, making them feel unworthy, which they will not forget. They will often exact revenge by refusing to help you in the future, throwing your past selfishness back in your face as justification for their actions. To a narcissist, saying no is a declaration of war where revenge is a must, and the stakes are nothing less than your sanity and self-worth. However, the repercussions of leaving or daring to say no pale in comparison to what happens when you dare to confront them head-on. Narcissists shift and morph their image to suit their ever-changing agendas, fine-tuning their facade and image to exploit the vulnerabilities and beliefs of each unsuspecting victim, causing them to often appear as a different person to different people. To some, they may claim to be a banker, to others, a lawyer, to others, an investor. Or they may claim they climbed Everest, dove to insane depths in the ocean, or own incredible fortunes. Others claim to have impressive credentials or huge upcoming projects or businesses that will set them for life, which are all true in their fantasy-filled heads. Exposing a narcissist for the lying, deceitful, and manipulating person they are will unleash a storm of wrath unlike anything you've seen before. Shattering their facade causes them to lose the validation and resources they once wielded like weapons, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. Make no mistake, crossing a narcissist is a one-way ticket to becoming their lifelong enemy, and they'll stop at nothing to exact their revenge. Even if they seem to avoid you like the plague, they will plot your demise with chilling precision, ensuring you pose no threat to their fragile ego ever again. Exposing a narcissist is possibly the gravest thing you can do to them. Not only are you removing your validation and resources from them, but you are also threatening their current and future validation and resources. Even if they feign kindness or civility, rest assured it's only a facade. Not only will they want revenge for their loss of resources, but they will be haunted by the fear of being exposed again. They'll leave no stone unturned in their quest to silence you, often stopping at nothing to tarnish your name, sabotage your career, and obliterate every trace of your existence from their lives for good. Having covered the big ones, let's look at the things you may not expect them to hold a grudge against you for life. Narcissists bask in the glow of their perceived superiority, craving adulation and admiration at every turn. To them, criticism, even if well-intentioned, is a direct assault on their self-appointed pedestal of perfection. Even offering them help, however innocuous, is met with suspicion and viewed as a thinly veiled attempt to showcase your supposed superiority over them. In the narcissist's mind, your suggestions aren't seen as helpful insights, but rather as veiled attacks on their intelligence and competence, prompting them to react with anger, resentment, and a swift rejection of your assistance. They'd sooner sabotage their own well-being than admit you have a better idea or method than them, often refusing to utilize the tools or methods you've provided, even if it means they have to suffer needlessly. Some may even go so far as to appropriate your ideas, claiming them as their own in a desperate bid to maintain their facade of infallibility. For narcissists, the mere suggestion of their fallibility is loathing to their fragile ego, leaving wounds that fester long after the dust has settled. Making them look inferior with unasked for advice or help is a sin they'll never forget, ensuring your transgression is etched into their memory for eternity. Even the most seemingly confident and grandiose narcissists harbor a fragile core of self-doubt, masked by a facade of arrogance. Beneath their boastful claims and airs of superiority lies an insatiable need to preserve their public image at all costs. To boost their public image, they'll weave intricate tales of their expertise and accomplishments, stolen from other people's lives, or by stretching the truth to its breaking point, often claiming to be experts in any topic discussed. Publicly humiliating them by exposing their lack of knowledge and skill is the ultimate blow to their ego. Despite their claims of indifference, narcissists are acutely sensitive to others' perceptions of them, and being publicly humiliated is a wound that cuts deep. They'll stop at nothing to salvage what's left of their tarnished reputation, launching smear campaigns and spreading lies to discredit you in the eyes of others. Failing that, they may simply withdraw altogether, unable to bear the thought of facing further humiliation. Publicly humiliating them when you are their partner or friend is viewed as an act of treachery, making forgiveness a luxury you'll never receive. Narcissists crave control like oxygen, using it as a shield to protect their fragile sense of self. Whether it's sabotaging your career or finances, destroying your self-confidence, or demanding you give up your job, narcissists will stop at nothing to maintain their grip over you. When you begin to assert your independence and no longer rely on them, it strikes at the very core of their perceived dominance. Even for narcissistic parents, the slightest hint of self-sufficiency, whether it's getting your own transport or gaining financial freedom, sends shockwaves through them and make them fear being obsolete. Unable to deal with these emotions, they may lash out, play the victim, or try to destroy your newfound independence. By no longer needing them, you make them feel worthless, a fact they'll never forgive you for, blocking them from feeling happy for your success and independence. Narcissists view themselves as the ultimate arbiters of truth and wisdom. Their decisions are sacred and their reasoning flawless. In their eyes, they are untouchable, endowed with superiority that guarantees any idea to work without the need for detailed planning and rational thinking. Their refusal to heed the advice of professionals is a testament to the unwavering belief in their own omnipotence. When you dare to question their judgment or expose the flaws in their grandiose schemes, they'll unleash a torrent of verbal and even physical attacks, accusing you of sabotaging their success or harboring envy for their achievements. Curiously, when their plans crumble in the face of reality, they'll blame you for their downfall, as if your thoughts alone were enough to ensure their failure. For narcissists, admitting fallibility is unimaginable, for by clinging to their delusions of grandeur, they shield themselves from the harsh reality of their own limitations. Challenging their superiority by pointing out their flaws and delusions is a direct assault on their ego, triggering a vicious cycle of denial and blame shifting. Narcissists despise being seen as normal or their actions as being unremarkable or ordinary. Every mundane action is an opportunity for grandiosity, a chance to bask in their adulation or their adoring audience. They demand recognition for the most trivial of tasks, expecting applause for the slightest effort, whether it's taking out the trash once a month or occasionally cooking you a microwave dinner. Narcissists inflate these acts into heroic feats worthy of praise. They'll gladly overlook your tireless efforts in favor of magnifying their own contributions, crafting a narrative where they are the unsung heroes of a household, and sometimes the world. Challenge their inflated sense of self-importance by pointing out the trivialness of their actions, and you better prepare for fireworks. And don't dare to point out that others, you included, do more than them or perform a task better than them. For the narcissist, being confronted with their own mediocrity is a bitter pill to swallow. Their instinctive response is to lash out with emotional extremes, desperate to reclaim the pedestal they believe they are entitled to. In their world, anything less than adulation is an affront to their fragile ego, one they'll go to great lengths to defend, and they will hold grudges against those who knock them off their pedestal of superiority, where every action of theirs should be applauded. Because even though they look like an adult, their brain is in many regards still functioning as a toddler. Learn more about narcissism by watching the video suggested to you right now.